Welcome back. I'm your host at Navy Legends, and I want to start this one with a number: 214 decibels. That is the approximate acoustic signature of a heavyweight torpedo detonating against the hull of a surface warship at close range. It is not a number you read about in a textbook and feel. It is a number you experience through the soles of your boots, through the walls of the compartment you are standing in, through every filling in every tooth. It is the number that ends careers, the number that ends ships. And on the morning of March 3rd, 2026, it was the number that the crew of the USS Milius, DDG-69, came within 58 meters of experiencing firsthand. The date is March 3rd, 2026. The time is 5:34 local. The waters of the East Sea, what the West calls the Sea of Japan, approximately 88 nautical miles east-northeast of the port of Wonsan, North Korea. International waters, technically. Contested space, operationally. The Milius is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, Flight 2A variant, operating as the lead surface asset of Task Group 70.1 under the 7th Fleet. She is on the third day of a scheduled multilateral exercise with the Republic of Korea Navy, Exercise Sangyong Shield, operating in coordination with the ROK destroyer ROKS Sejong, the Great, and the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force destroyer JS Ashigara. The exercise scenario for the morning involves anti-submarine warfare operations, a drill that, in the language of the operations order, is described as a simulated threat environment replication exercise, which is to say, the three Allied ships are practicing hunting submarines in waters where, 88 nautical miles to the west, the Korean People's Navy operates a submarine fleet assessed at between 70 and 80 hulls, including a small number of Romeo-class patrol submarines modified with air-independent propulsion systems, and, according to the intelligence assessment distributed to task group commanders 14 days prior, at least two of the newly commissioned Sinpo-C-class ballistic missile submarines, whose capabilities and patrol patterns remain only partially understood. ASW exercises in these waters are not abstract. They are rehearsals. The Milius is rigged for a particular kind of listening. Her AN/SQS-53C bow-mounted sonar is operating in active mode, pinging at low frequency on a 12-second cycle, painting the water column ahead of the ship to a range of approximately 22 nautical miles in optimal conditions. Conditions that, on this particular morning, are far from optimal. The Sea of Japan, in early March, produces a complex acoustic environment. Cold surface water overlying a warmer intermediate layer creates a pronounced negative sound velocity gradient, bending acoustic energy downward and creating shadow zones, areas where the sonar signal simply doesn't penetrate effectively. The shadow zone directly beneath and aft of the Milius, in a cone extending from roughly 400 to 1,100 meters depth at close range, is acoustically opaque to the bow sonar. Whoever planned what happened next understood that geometry precisely. At 5:34:07, the Milius's AN/SQR-19 towed array sonar, a passive listening system, streamed 1,600 meters behind the ship on a cable, designed to detect exactly the kind of acoustic signatures that the bow sonar misses, registers an anomaly. Not a clear contact, not a sharp biological, a faint periodic mechanical line in the frequency spectrum at approximately 47 Hz, repeating at intervals consistent with a slow-turning propeller shaft. The sonar operator flags it as a possible contact and calls it up to the sonar supervisor. The supervisor examines the waterfall display. The line is faint. It is intermittent. The ambient noise from the exercise activity, the other ships in the task group, the active pinging of the SQS-53C itself, is cluttering the low-frequency bands. She classifies it as a possible contact and assigns it a track number, Sierra 7. Sierra 7 is, at this moment, 2.1 nautical miles off the Milius's port quarter. It has been there, almost certainly, for longer than the towed array contact suggests. Long enough to have maneuvered into position using the acoustic shadow created by the ship's own propulsion and sonar systems. Long enough to have computed a firing solution. At 5:36:41, 2 minutes and 34 seconds after the towed array contact was first flagged, the sonar operator on the towed array console registers a sharp transient, a brief high-energy acoustic event consistent with a torpedo launch transient. She calls it immediately. Possible weapon transient Sierra 7. Contact is maneuvering. The TAO responds in under 2 seconds. All stop. Launch countermeasures. Helm, right full rudder. All ahead flank. The sequence of orders is simultaneous and contradictory in one specific way. You cannot immediately accelerate and simultaneously go to all stop. But experienced watch teams understand the intent. Get the ship turning, get countermeasures in the water, and then get to flank speed as fast as the engineering plant can respond. The SLQ-25C Nixie torpedo countermeasure system deploys its decoy body within 3.1 seconds of the order. The decoy emits an acoustic signature designed to replicate the propulsion noise of the ship itself, drawing an acoustically homing torpedo away from the hull. The torpedo in the water is a North Korean CHT-02D heavyweight torpedo, 533 mm diameter, 7.2 meter length, 300 kilogram warhead, wire-guided in its initial phase, transitioning to active acoustic homing in the terminal phase. Assessed maximum speed, 45 knots. Assessed range at that speed, 12,000 meters. The firing solution has been set for a hull-aimed intercept, a torpedo fired not at the ship's current position, but at the point in space where the ship will be when the torpedo arrives, based on the firing submarine's estimate of the ship's course and speed. The estimate was computed when the Milius was making 12 knots on course 085. The Milius is no longer making 12 knots on course 085. She is in a hard right turn, accelerating through 18 knots toward 28, trailing a Nixie decoy with the rudder at full deflection. Every knot of speed and every degree of heading change she can introduce in the next 90 seconds alters the torpedo's terminal geometry. At 5:37:04, the torpedo is detected by the SQS-53C bow sonar in active mode as it turns through the water on its intercept course. Range, 1,740 meters. Speed over ground, 44.8 knots. Closing velocity, approximately 32 knots relative to the now accelerating and turning Milius. Time to intercept, approximately 100 seconds. MH-60R, Seahawk helicopters from both the Milius and the ROKS Sejong the Great are airborne within 60 seconds of the weapon transient call, prosecuting the contact bearing of Sierra 7 with dipping sonar and preparing to deploy Mark 54 lightweight torpedoes. But no helicopter can respond in 100 seconds. The ship must save herself. At 5:37:28, the Nixie decoy body is producing its full acoustic output. The torpedo's wire guidance link to the submarine, which has been controlling weapons course corrections, severs at this moment, not due to any tactical action, but because the submarine itself has altered its own course sharply, apparently attempting to evade the helicopter threat that the crew knows is coming. The wire breaks. The torpedo transitions immediately to autonomous active acoustic homing. The active homing seeker has 2 acoustic targets in its field, the Nixie decoy and the hull of the Milius. The Nixie is closer. The Nixie is louder at this frequency band. The torpedo's seeker logic selects the Nixie as the primary target and begins correcting its course accordingly. At 5:38:14, the CHT-02D torpedo detonates against the Nixie decoy body at a range of 58 meters from the Milius's port quarter, 214 decibels. The pressure wave reaches the ship's hull in approximately 0.038 seconds. The underwater shock load, calculated by the damage control team's post-incident assessment, is equivalent to a 150 kilogram TNT charge detonating at a standoff distance of 58 meters, approximately 40% of the energy that would have been delivered by a direct contact detonation. The ship does not take on water. The pressure hull is not breached, but the shock load is sufficient to crack 2 welds in the engineering spaces aft, shear the mounting hardware of the after Mk-32 torpedo tube assembly, completely off its deck mount, a 340-kilogram piece of equipment that travels 1.7 meters before being arrested by its cable runs, and collapse the overhead lighting in every compartment below the main deck from frame 180 aft. In the shaft alley, 2 machinists' mates are thrown off their feet. One strikes the bulkhead, sustaining a fractured collarbone and lacerations to his scalp. The other falls into the shaft, bearing housing, and sustains a serious laceration to his right forearm. Both are conscious and ambulatory within 90 seconds of the detonation. In the CIC, every console display resets simultaneously. The Aegis system's restart cycle takes 8.3 seconds. 8.3 seconds during which the most capable air and missile defense system on the ship is completely blind. The Milius is alive. She is damaged. She is, for 8.3 seconds, effectively deaf and blind from an electronic warfare standpoint. And somewhere, 2 to 3 nautical miles off the port quarter, a North Korean submarine is still in the water. The captain is on the bridge within 40 seconds of the detonation. She takes in the situation with the controlled economy of a commanding officer who has trained for exactly this scenario for 22 years. Her ship is moving. Her crew is responding. Her electronics are coming back online. She keys the radio. 7th Fleet, this is Milius, actual. We have been engaged by a torpedo attack originating from a submarine contact designated Sierra 7. Standoff detonation at 58 meters. Ship is operable. We are prosecuting the contact. Request immediate strike authorization under current ROE, the rules of engagement governing U.S. naval forces in the Sea of Japan theater, updated by USFK and 7th Fleet in December 2025, following a pattern of increasingly aggressive North Korean submarine activity. Authorize the commanding officer of any U.S. surface combatant to initiate offensive prosecution, including lethal action, against a hostile submarine that has conducted or attempted a weapons release against U.S. or Allied forces, without requiring further release authority from 7th Fleet or Indo-Pacific Command, provided the commanding officer can confirm beyond tactical doubt that a weapons release has occurred. The captain has no doubt whatsoever. The MH-60R from the Milius, callsign Cutlass 7-1, has been in contact with Sierra 7 for the past 90 seconds using its AN/AQS 22 dipping sonar. The contact is firm. The submarine is maneuvering southwest at approximately 8 knots, attempting to use the thermal layer as concealment while it runs for shallower water near the Korean coast. The acoustic signature profile on the AQS-22 is consistent with a Romeo-class modified submarine. Diesel-electric, approximately 1,830 tons submerged displacement, maximum submerged speed assessed at 13 knots. She is not fast. She cannot outrun what is coming. At 5:42:17, 8 minutes and 10 seconds after the torpedo launch, Cutlass 7-1 releases a Mark 54 Mod 1 lightweight torpedo from 180 feet altitude, 400 meters ahead of the contact's projected track. The Mark 54 enters the water, acquires the contact on its active seeker within 4.1 seconds, and begins its terminal homing run. At 5:43:02, the Mark 54 detonates against the pressure hull of the North Korean submarine designated Sierra 7 at a depth of 87 meters. The torpedo's 43.9 kilogram PBX N103 warhead produces a contact detonation against the submarine's aft engineering section. The pressure hull ruptures. The submarine loses propulsion, ballast control, and depth keeping within seconds. The sonar operator on Cutlass 7-1 reports the classic indicators of a subsurface kill: breaking up sounds, hull implosion signatures, and the rapid ascent of a large debris field to the surface. The submarine does not survive. The captain authorizes the strike report to 7th Fleet. She also authorizes the second element of the response, a coordinated strike package against the submarine base at Wonsan, from which Sierra 7 almost certainly sorted, and against the associated command, control, and communications infrastructure that directed the operation. She does not have Tomahawks. The Milius is not configured for land attack on this patrol, but she doesn't need to be. She calls for what she does have access to: the air wing. 2 F-35C Lightning IIs from VFA 147 embarked aboard the USS Carl Vinson, operating 340 nautical miles to the southeast, are airborne and supersonic within 9 minutes of the strike authorization relay from 7th Fleet. They carry AGM-154 CJSOWC glide weapons and a single AGM-158B ASSMER each. Their target package has been pre-planned against exactly this contingency. The Wonsan submarine base pier facilities, the associated refit and weapons loading infrastructure, and the over-the-horizon coastal surveillance radar on Cape Hodo that provides coastal approach tracking data to KPN submarine operations. Simultaneously, the USS Carl Vinson launches 2 EA-18G Growlers, borrowed from an embarked USMC electronic attack detachment, tasked with electronic suppression of North Korean coastal air defense radar systems along the eastern coast. The Growlers carry AGM-88 EEAARGM anti-radiation missiles and are authorized to engage any coastal radar that illuminates them. At 6:41:55, 67 minutes and 14 seconds after the Torpedo launch, the first JASM-ER impacts the Wonsan submarine base's primary pier structure. The weapon's 450-kilogram penetrating warhead, designed to defeat hardened concrete, impacts at a dive angle of 68 degrees and penetrates 2.1 meters of reinforced concrete before detonating. The pier structure, a 340-meter reinforced quay capable of handling 6 submarines simultaneously, sustains catastrophic structural damage across its western two-thirds. A Romeo-class submarine moored at berth 3 is destroyed by the secondary collapse of the pier structure and fires from a ruptured fuel bunker. 2 Sango-class coastal submarines at berths 1 and 2 sustain severe blast damage. The Cape Hodo radar installation takes 2 JSOWC glide weapon impacts within 6 seconds of each other. The primary antenna array is destroyed. The backup generator facility takes a third impact 11 seconds later. The installation is mission killed. Here is where the fog of war enters. The JASSMER, targeting the submarine refit facility, a hardened concrete structure housing torpedo maintenance and reload equipment, performs a DSMAC terminal approach and identifies a thermal anomaly in the target area that is inconsistent with the pre-strike imagery. The anomaly indicates the presence of personnel, a large number of them, in what the target package had designated as a maintenance facility, operating on a maintenance-only schedule. The weapon's onboard computer cannot resolve the discrepancy. It does not have the authority to abort autonomously, but the data is recorded and transmitted back to the F-35C's mission computer, and the pilot, reviewing the sensor feed in the 4.2 seconds remaining before impact, makes the call. She activates the abort command. The JSSMER climbs, jettisons its warhead section in a safe configuration into the sea, and the round impacts the water 1.8 kilometers offshore. The refit facility is not struck. The thermal anomaly, later assessed as likely a shift change of maintenance personnel or possibly civilian workers conscripted into the facility, means the target building survives the strike. 1 miss, 1 correct decision. 1 building standing that was supposed to be rubble. In the fog of war, the correct call is not always the clean call. It is simply the one you can live with when the smoke clears. The second Growler's AGM-88E sequence runs into a different problem. 3 of 4 designated coastal radar sites have gone silent before the strike aircraft come within engagement range, a standard North Korean passive defense protocol, shutting down emitters when U.S. aircraft are detected approaching. You cannot home an anti-radiation missile on a radar that isn't transmitting. 3 of 4 planned radar kills do not happen. The 4th radar, a Fansong variant associated with a coastal SA-2 battery near Kosong, remains active. It illuminates. The growler engages with a single AARGM. Clean kill, 1 out of 4. The other 3 radar batteries survive and are likely repositioned before dawn. By 7:20, the task group's post-engagement picture is as follows. 1 North Korean submarine destroyed at a depth of 87 meters, 88 nautical miles east of Wonsan. The Wonsan submarine base primary pier is catastrophically damaged and out of operation. 1 submarine destroyed at pier. The Cape Hodo surveillance radar is mission killed. 1 refit facility survives due to pilot abort. 3 of 4 coastal radar batteries survive due to passive shutdown protocol. The USS Milius has 2 injured sailors, cracked engineering welds, a destroyed torpedo tube mount, and will require dry dock assessment before resuming full combat operations. She is proceeding under her own power toward Yokosuka at 18 knots, escorted by the ROKS Sejong the Great. In Pyongyang, the Korean People's Army General Staff convenes an emergency session. The Supreme Leader is briefed. Within 4 hours, North Korean state media releases a statement denying any submarine activity in the area and accusing the United States and its puppet allies of fabricating a provocation as a pretext for aggression against the DPRK. The statement warns of catastrophic consequences if the United States continues its military adventurism in Korean waters. In Seoul, the ROK National Security Council convenes simultaneously. The alliance coordination mechanism, the formal consultation process between the United States and South Korea governing combined responses to North Korean provocations, is activated at its highest level for the first time since 2017. The question on the table is not whether to respond further. The question is whether the response that has already been executed is sufficient to re-establish deterrence, or whether it has simply validated the North Korean strategic calculation that a submarine attack on a U.S. surface combatant is an acceptable risk. That question has no comfortable answer. Here at Navy Legends, what happened on March 3, 2026, presents a tactical picture that is both encouraging and deeply sobering in equal measure. Encouraging because the system worked. The towed array detected the contact. The countermeasures deployed. The Nixie functioned as designed. The Mark 54 killed the submarine within 8 minutes. The airstrike package executed with precision and, in one critical instance, with the human judgment necessary to avoid a potential catastrophe. Sobering because 58 meters is not a comfortable margin. A torpedo fired from 200 meters closer to the ship's track. A Nixie decoy that failed to attract the homing seeker. A crew half a second slower on the countermeasures. Any one of those variables, resolved differently, produces an outcome that ends this engagement with a hull on the bottom of the Sea of Japan and 281 families receiving the kind of phone call that cannot be taken back. The Korean People's Navy operates approximately 70 submarines. The vast majority are older, noisier, and less capable than the vessel that prosecuted the March 3rd attack. But older and noisier does not mean harmless in a confined, acoustically complex body of water, 88 miles from the coast. Numbers matter. In a saturation scenario, multiple submarines prosecuting a coordinated attack simultaneously against a task group with finite ASW assets, the mathematics of defense become rapidly unfavorable. The U.S. and Allied response to March 3rd destroyed 1 submarine and damaged 1 pier. The Korean People's Navy still has approximately 69 submarines. The Wonsan base is damaged, but not eliminated. The refit facility is intact. The deterrence calculation has shifted. Whether it has shifted enough is a question that only Pyongyang can answer. Stay informed. Stay vigilant. I'll see you in the next one.